Hi, Chris Kuzmal here. Today we're going to learn to write a Java program that detects legal, logical sentences. And here's a repl.it link that you can go to see the entire set of code that I believe works. So let's get started. As I said, go to repl.it. If you don't use my link, that's fine. You'll want to click on Java and it'll give you a hello world program, and you should click the run button. That'll cause hello world to happen. And we'll come back to that in just a moment, because first let me tell you what we're going to do overall. We're going to review the syntax for propositional logic, and then we're going to code it. And when I say the syntax for propositional logic, I mean the entire syntax. And this is part of the beauty and part of the value of formal logic. The syntax is extremely economically defined. It's extremely efficiently defined. It's fantastic. So let's review that. What is a legal logical sentence? A legal logical sentence is one of two things. It's either a simple sentence of the form like P, or it's complex. And the simplest complex sentence we can come up with is not P, okay? Now, we also need to learn a little bit about Java to do this. And there's two kinds of objects in Java. There's probably, you could classify them in more than two ways, but two key ways that we're going to look at. One is something called a literal, like a literal, this thing in quotes says, a literal looks like that. That is indeed a object of type string, but you can also have a variable. Variables have a type. In this case, it's string. A name, and the name is really long in this case. The name of the variable is this is a variable name with type string. And it's sort of literally a self-explanatory variable. And it's set equal to something in quotes, set equal to the literal, which is set to this value. And so this is a very self-explanatory line of code. At least I hope so. And that's kind of one of the few things that we really need to know about Java. The other thing we need to know about Java is that there's basically two kinds of methods in Java. One is a method with explicit arguments. And here we have a method whose name is, this is a method with explicit arguments. And the first argument is a string variable. The second argument is a string literal, but there's no dot to the left of it. There's nothing to the left of it with a dot. The next line here has string one dot. This is a method with an implicit argument there to the left, and there to the left we have string one, which is an implicit argument to the method, and then it also has one explicit argument, the literal string, which is called, whose value is a literal string. Finally, you can use a literal to the left-hand side of an implicitly defined method. So you can say this string is an implicit argument, and then invoke the method to this method, and then have the argument with this explicit argument. So that's a quick review, a quick coverage of how we do methods. If you didn't quite get it, I think it's actually going to be pretty clear from the context, but I wanted to at least point to these things. And here's an exercise that you can do to practice. Modify the hello world program that you have. Replace the hello world literal with a variable, remove the spaces from it with this here command, and we'll go over it in the next video. And the output should be hello world. There's no space between the hello and the world, unlike what there would have been before. So that's sort of your goal, to go and do that. Next video, we will in fact do that together.